working now towards the goal line, and it's going to be cleared away by the Peregrine defense as Jane puts the left foot in it and sends it out of bounds. It'll be a throw-in for the Leafs and Weldy.
Good defense there by the freshman out of Heartland, Michigan, Marissa Jane, as she cleared it out, knowing just so well to clear it out on the side and avoid getting it for a corner.
As Weldy throws that one in, it goes right off the foot of Woodward. It'll now be a Peregrine throw-in as 5 minutes have gone by so far in this contest, and so far, no sign of thunderstorms, so that's a good deal.
We saw a little bit of rain start dripping down before the start of the game. Thankfully, not during the start of the kickoff, but looks like it still may be on its way.
Short Miller got a foot in there, send it past the goal line, and it'll create a goal kick there for Kelly Sharp and the Peregrines. She's teeing the ball up, scanning her options, and she'll get ready to boot this one down the field. And that she does, but it goes just in front of the goal box. Vela gets a foot in on it, sending it back into the goal box, where Sharp will try and run it down, pick it up in the goal box, and roll this one out to the Peregrines. Going to be taken up the field now on that far sideline by the Peregrines, now cut back towards the middle, and it's going to be taken away by the Lady Leafs, at least it appears, and finally, yes, Weldy has it at midfield. Weldy looking to work, sends a volley pass here to Short Miller. This one rolling into the goal box, going to be cleared out by the Peregrine defense, and it rolls back to midfield and into Lady Leaf territory across the sideline. It'll be Lady Leaf ball. And Brad, so far we've seen the ball on the right side of us, which is Peregrine territory, throughout the entire contest.
Yeah, Goshen very much in possession of this game. The momentum in their favor, and they're just having better possession so far, it seems. They're keeping the ball well, and they're definitely faster so far that we can tell than Purdue Calumet.
Battle for possession now at midfield. Still going. A lot of chippy play there as it was Berkey, who is really getting physical with a couple players, got a little too physical with Coy, and it'll be a foul as the Peregrines will be kicking this one from just in front of midfield. Sends this one in, and it's going to go right into the hands of Natalie Thorne, and she's going to hurl this one out here on the near sideline, picked up by Short Miller. Short Miller dribbles it over to Weldy. Weldy sends it across the middle to Vela. Vela with some nice ball handling, sauciness as she passes this one up towards the far sideline. It's going to be taken away by the Peregrine, so the effort will be amount to nothing there, but an excellent play with the juke move there.
And we also see, not to mention, that there are only 2 refs for this contest, and one of them is going to have to take not only the on-field duties, but the far sideline duties as well.
This ball is going to be out of play as it rolls past the sideline. It'll be a throw-in. And seeing who for it, looks like the Weldy's going to trot over to that sideline and toss this one in. Again, 37.5 minutes left to play here in the first half of action. We have the lights on as we're ready for darkness to come. Still no score so far. Ball comes in, and the Leafs are going to send this one up the field here on the near sideline. Taken away by the Peregrines momentarily as the Leafs get it back. It's Featherstone sending it towards the middle. This one gets to Woodward. Woodward getting it to Drinkwater. Drinkwater starting to zig up the field, gets it to Woodward in the middle of a few Peregrines. Short Miller has it, sends a beautiful volley pass here to Drinkwater. The goalkeeper runs out, and the goalkeeper Sharp is able to snag that one up just before Drinkwater got a foot in on it.
It was a good play there by Kelly Sharp because she could, after that, seeing that high lob, she knew it was going to take a big bounce, and therefore she could judge exactly when to go out, and she made the right move at the right time.
So the Peregrines take over once again. It's Coy with it just in front of midfield. She sends a pass over here now to Huppenthal. Huppenthal trying to gain possession on it, but Weldy's right on her backside. And finally, this ball is kicked out of bounds by Short Miller, as this will be a throw-in for the Peregrines. Jane will throw this one in here on the near sideline. 36 minutes left here in the first half of action. Ball goes in and comes right back out. Jane will throw it in once more. Scoots up a few more feet. She's at midfield. Ball's in now to Graber. Graber with it, makes an excellent move there past Featherstone. She's working towards the middle. with some nice ball handling, but great defense. And we've talked about this Lady Leaf defense all season. They're able to take it away there as Bella has it just in front of midfield. Whistle blows as too much contact there, and it will stay Lady Leaf possession. But no, we've been talking about how stifling this defense has been so far.
Absolutely, and we got a lot of experience in Melina Weldy. She's over on the right side. She was playing center back alongside Lena Charles, who's in her regular left center back position. But, yeah, I mean, this is an experienced defense and one that doesn't let up easy chances for the other team.
Great play there by Vendrali to keep it from going back into her territory. She's wanting to keep the attack going on the Peregrines as ball's worked back to midfield now for the Leafs as it's Charles with it. She sends it up the far sideline, and just too hot to handle over there as that one's going to roll out of bounds. It will be Peregrine possession. 35 minutes left now here in the first half of action. Ball's in, sent up across midfield and taken away from the Lady Leafs once more. Up to Drinkwater. Drinkwater trying to get it to Woodward, but it's picked off by the Peregrines. Kodas with it. Ball now being worked around towards the far sideline.
Still only one shot so far in this game, and nothing much coming. It was from that corner kick, but wasn't a whole lot of opportunity there as Charles was only able to, while it was intended for her head, only got a hip to it.
Ball now being crossed over to Weldy. Weldy here at midfield. On the nearer side of the field, sends this one up, and it's going to be taken away by the Peregrines and sent down the field. That one's going to cross the sideline. It will be out of bounds.
It looked like that might have just skimmed the head, so it will be in possession of Purdue Calumet.
You're right. It looks like Weldy was the one who got a head in on there. And so it will be Jane tossing this one in from the sideline.
Brianna Leggett comes on for Purdue Calumet in favor of Huppenthal.
And while that happens, the Leafs are going to be trying to take advantage here as they're working on their own side of midfield. Featherstone sends a through ball up to Vela, being chased after. An excellent move there, trying to keep it inbounds. Can she tightrope it? And it looks like she was unable to do so. It was a close play. Excellent effort by Vela, but in the end, the Peregrines will have a throw-in.
And Vela really had a nice couple of games already so far this season. She kind of gets overlooked a little bit because she doesn't get a whole lot of scoring chances. She's in the middle. She's the playmaker. She can get a lot of nice passes up forward for this Lady Leaf squad.
I know you love the word facilitator. It sounds like...
Yeah, well, I mean, well, we could go back a little bit with that thought in terms of my basketball play as well. But in terms of soccer, there's a lot of playmakers for this team, and Kate Venderly also being one of them. Gina Berkey, another one in the middle, makes a lot of great plays and scored in the first game of the season.
And here comes Short Miller with the ball, crossing midfield, trying to get it up to Drinkwater, I believe now. And it's going to be booted back by the Peregrines. Featherstone with it, sends it over here, and it's going to go out of bounds just off of Weldy's foot. Another Peregrine throw-in. And here is the throw-in, gets into Graber. Toying with it here on the near sideline was Leggett. Ball now being swung over by Coy over furthermore to Mendoza. Mendoza with it, working across midfield on the far sideline, sending a through ball. Hits the official, and that one's going to be a favorable Leaf bounce as the Leafs now have it, and they continue to work up the field. Vela with it. Sends this one up to Short Miller on the through ball. Working across midfield now. Cutting up towards the middle. Sends a pass up to Drinkwater just in front of the goal box. Drinkwater not giving up on the plays. The Peregrines seem to take away with it, and yes, they do. Leggett with it, sends it up to, I believe, Ross, yes. Now being worked over. Leggett again sends it downfield. Featherstone with a header, bringing it backwards to midfield. Vela with it there. She sends it forward on to Woodward. Woodward battling for possession. The Peregrines outnumber her. They take it away. They now have it at midfield, working towards the far sideline. Berkey gets this one over. Wengard with it, sends it backwards. And they cross midfield once more. Vela gets it over to Berkey. Berkey on that far sideline, sends it back to Wengard. And she tries to send a ball downfield, but it's booted off one of the Calumet defenders. And the Leafs will Actually, they'll lose possession on the far sideline as Wenger couldn't hang on to it, and it will be Peregrine throw-in again. Ball now towards midfield. Vela gets a foot in on it, and she has been active so far tonight, and here she is working towards the front of the goal box with some nice ball handling, sends it backward to Shortmiller. Shortmiller sends it furthermore back to Vendrelli, back up to Vela now. Some good defense there by Jane and the Peregrines is able to stop that effort, but the ball is still in Leaf possession, now back to midfield.
And with only 15 minutes gone by in this first game, still haven't recorded our first shot on net from either team, and there haven't been many chances for either team either.
It's been a very competitive game thus far.
Game of possession so far, and midfield play is going to be big, as well as the defenders.
Featherstone sends this one out of bounds. It'll be a Peregrine throw-in once more. Jane looks to throw it in. Scanning her options. Tosses this one in. It's intended for Graber. Graber can't quite get it over Featherstone as Vela comes in with a foot and sends it out of bounds. It will be Peregrine possession once again. A throw-in out to Coy. Vela in on the defense again as she's just been all over the place. Ross with it. Ross sends a shot into Thorne from the top of the goal box, and even furthermore, Thorne gobbles it up with ease and hurls this one out now as they look to counter with the ball on that far sideline, working up towards midfield. Vendrelli with it, sends it up to Shortmiller. Shortmiller across midfield, working for the Leafs. In front of the goal box, trying to get it to Drinkwater. It's denied, but Weldy ends up with it here in front of midfield on the near sideline and looks to create something here on offense.
The third official has made his way onto the playing field, so now all three officials in for this game is, well, that's good news, I guess, for everyone.
It's not a bad thing. Leafs have it momentarily as Drinkwater comes running up, trying to get that one back from Ross. Unable to do so. It's sent back to Wenger. Wenger getting it up to Berkey. And they're going to try and set something up as Charles has it there in her own territory, trying to get it up to Vendrelli, but it's taken away there by Graber and the Peregrines. Two players go tumbling down. It's Graber and Vendrelli, and it's going to be too much contact there called on Vendrelli, so it'll be Peregrine possession once more in between the goal box and midfield.
And perhaps maybe one of the best opportunities of the game so far for Purdue Calumet, as, yes, they just a couple of minutes ago put their first shot on net, but this is a good chance now for the Peregrines again.
Ross will send this one into the goal, and Thorne catches that one with ease as well, as Thorne hasn't really been tested thus far. All the shots coming to her, she's been able to gobble up with ease.
Well, it's always difficult, too, with the back four of the Lady Leafs. That includes Featherstone, Weldy, Wingard, and, of course, Lena Charles as well in the back. And so she doesn't get contested much because she doesn't have players getting through her defenders, which is a good thing, of course.
Right, and we watched that in the season opener against Cleary University. Thorne was almost bored back there.
Yeah.
Here's Drinkwater getting it up to Vela right in front of the Peregrine goal box. Still being battled on. Berkey throwing a head in there, trying to get in on the play. Vela has it, and they're going to work it backwards and reset. Here as Wengard has it on the far sideline. A boot into the goal box, and it's going to be headed away by Dichovsky. And that one will roll out of bounds as well, so it will be a throw-in from Wengard and the Lady Leafs. 27 minutes left here in the first half of action. Again, scoreless, as Vela has it there in the far corner, working here on the Peregrine side. Sends this one into the middle, and it's going to be knocked away. This one may roll past the goal line. Yes, it does. It will end up in a corner kick there for Woodward.
This is also the first time that we've seen the Lady Leafs wearing their white jerseys so far this year. And, well, we had that issue that we keep bringing up, but there's no...
Woodward sends this one into the middle of the goal box. It's headed on by Berkey. Drinkwater with it just in front of the goalie, in front of Sharp. And that one's going to roll right into Sharp's hands, but that's the best opportunity we've seen so far from the Leafs.
And Drinkwater just couldn't put that one home. A few defenders on her and the ball bouncing around a little bit. Tough to really get a shot off anyway, but just in front of net, it's who you want the ball on the foot as well.
Mm-hmm. Drinkwater, again, one of the leading scorers for this team, as she was phenomenal a year ago before going down with an injury.
That was sure unfortunate because that really turned the season in a bad direction for the Lady Leafs because, I mean, Drinkwater is such a strong player as that ball goes out of bounds.
Mm-hmm.
We just see that she's just very quicker, much quicker than her defenders, and she's got a good right foot shot as well.
Vela booted that ball out in its Peregrine possession as Shortmiller boots this one out. But, yes, going back to that point momentarily, Coach Gloden, with his first year here under the helm for the Lady Leafs, has to be very pleased to have a goal scorer like her back in the lineup.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now over to Weldy here on the near sideline. She's looking to send it upfield, and she does. To Vela, the Drinkwater. Ball's loose. Shortmiller gobbles it up. Working. Tries to get it over to Berkey. It's going to be taken away by the Peregrines. It was a tough pass, but Berkey with the excellent hustle gets it back once more. Leafs still working on their side of midfield. Featherstone with it. Looking for options. She sends it up to Weldy. Weldy here on the near sideline, back to Featherstone. They boot this one down the field, and it's going to be headed away by the Peregrines in Coy. And Shortmiller gets a foot in on it, but just enough to send it out of play. It'll be a Peregrine throw-in with 25 minutes left here in the first half. Actually, it'll be a Lady Leaf throw-in. Change of possession.
Looked like it took just a little deflection.
Vendrelli trying to get it to Vela. It's taken away by the Peregrines once more. Sent here to the near sideline just across midfield. It rolls out of bounds. It will be another Goshen throw-in. Weldy just in front of midfield.
Still the play primarily in favor of Goshen with all the possession mainly on their attacking half, and now with Purdue has the ball now.
Yeah, they changed their minds once again and made it a Peregrine throw-in. As this ball sent out of bounds, it will be yet another Peregrine throw-in, at least for the moment. We've seen it change before. So here's Jane tossing this one in for the Peregrines, and that will be Leggett, who sends it backwards, trying to set up an offense, gets it over to Jane, worked over furthermore, trying to get it to Gregory, and it's taken away by Wengard and the Lady Leafs. Here's Berkey getting it back up to her, and it goes past her foot and out of bounds. It will be another Calumet throw-in. 23 minutes left here in the first half. Ball sent up the field and out of play once more.
Tune in at 11 o'clock this Saturday, 574 Sports, hosted by Dalton Shetler, my partner here on the side. And women's soccer being one of the things that will cover my story, as a matter of fact.
This ball sent out past the goal line. It will be a goal kick by Thorne and Goshen. And yes, you're correct. Another very touching story you don't want to miss. A young kid named Ethan was signed on to the Goshen College basketball team yesterday. They had a press conference. We're going to bring you some interviews of his family, himself, and coach, and get you a look at that. It's a young kid who's 6 years old, struggling with cystic fibrosis. So it will be a story you don't want to miss, and it's a very heartwarming and positive story to hear from.
Very emotional press conference.
Oh, I know you do. Saving energy saves you.
Decades. For avid Globe fans, Acoustic Cafe is a show you don't want to miss out on. A relaxing show to wind down on a lazy Sunday afternoon from 4 to 6, only here on your home for culturally progressive music, 91.1 The Globe.
You wanted to be a teacher when you were little, but as you grew up, things changed. Teaching just didn't seem like the best option anymore, so you decided to become something else. But what would your 12-year-old self say? Interesting and innovative things are happening in teaching today, so it's time to put it back on your list. Don't try to convince yourself otherwise. You had it right the first time.
Find out how you can make more at teach.org. Make more. Teach. Brought to you by Teach and the Ad Council.
Have you been searching for a church family that will accept you for who you are and not force you into a theological box? At Goshen City Church of the Brethren, we value diversity and believe each individual experience with God and an understanding of that relationship is both valid and genuine. We are an open and affirming congregation committed to a peace witness and an active engagement in both the local and global communities. In our church life, we can offer you an opportunity to share your gifts as a contribution to our worship experience, or simply connect with us to be welcomed and included in a community of friendliness and caring. We are located on the corner of 5th and Clinton Streets with worship services beginning at 9:30 each Sunday. Goshen City Church of the Brethren, we look forward to having you join us.
Hey, there's my son.
Hey, Dad.
What's wrong with your voice?
There is nothing wrong with my voice.
Well, it's just sort of.
Hello, Dad.
Susan? Guys, I think it's about time to get in the car and maybe see some green things.
What are these green things you speak of?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Hey, Maple Leaf fans. Can't make it out to the Goshen College Soccer Complex tonight? That's okay. We've got you covered. Tune in tonight as the women's soccer team looks to bounce back off the 3-0 loss against Madonna as they host Purdue Calumet tonight at 7 o'clock with kickoff coverage starting at 6:50 right here on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics.
Why is my son having trouble in school?
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
No, I'm tired of fighting with my son over his homework.
Home, walk, restaurant. Need a review?
No, he's smart, but his mind wanders.
7 wonders of the world.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. I was trying to show how Connor feels every day. Redirecting to understood.org.
Join parents and experts at understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues to help your child thrive.
Brought to you by Understood.
You're on. Welcome back to 91.1 The Globe here at the Goshen College Soccer Complex for the contest between the Lady Maple Leafs of Goshen College and the Lady Peregrines of Purdue University Calumet. And we are scoreless at the break. We're a few minutes away from kicking off the second half, but so far we've seen a very competitive contest out here on the field, Brad.
Yeah, but not a whole lot of chances, good chances that is, coming from either team with only 2 shots on net for either side, but those shots not coming to too much difficulty, it doesn't seem, for each goalkeepers. But yeah, this is going to be a game which midfield team is stronger, and that even that might not see a win or a loss for either team. This might be a draw, but it is what it is. The rain is holding off just a little bit, so the field conditions shouldn't be too bad, but may be a little bit of a factor in this game.
And speaking of draw, Purdue Calumet is no stranger to that. They've already had one so far this season. They are 1-2-1 coming into this contest, and so far the series meeting, this is the 3rd meeting of all time between these two programs. And the third one in the past 3 years, and Goshen so far has won the past 2.
Yeah, and the first time they played each other, it was 3-2. Is that they won on August 28th back in 2013. That game held at Goshen. Then they traveled to Purdue Calumet just last season, and they won 1-0 from a goal from Drinkwater earlier in that season. So now here they are again, and it's 0-0 at half.
And we've been talking about Drinkwater and the type of impact she puts on this team, especially offensively with her scoring ability. The Leaf team didn't have her necessarily for most of the season. She went down with an injury. Thorne went down with an injury. It was a very injury-riddled team this past year. But this year, again, under Coach Gloden brings in a lot of different coaching experience. He's been all over the place. He's been an assistant at St. Louis. You got the list in front of you. Where else?
Bowling Green State, as well as St. Francis, that located in Pennsylvania, St. Joe's College. But he was also had a couple of stints at Cincinnati as well. So this is a very experienced coach, led their team when he was in St. Louis to second in their conference. And he also brings in 2 new assistants, one being his wife, Ann Gloden, and Drew Nussbaum, also in his first season as a assistant coach under Scott Gloden.
And his wife, Coach Gloden's wife, actually was a goalkeeper for Central Michigan, I believe, back in her playing days. So that was a lot of experience they're trying to bring on here, and you're starting to see that become a trend with some of the Goshen College coaches. On the other side, on the men's side, Coach Aaron Patrick, he has a lot of playing experience as well. So you can kind of see this trend where playing experience is starting to become a valuable factor in the hiring practices of this athletic department.
And we won't stray off of the women's team too much, but Aaron Patrick also brought in a bunch of new assistant coaches as well as a bunch of new players this season. So he's had a big impact on that team. And so far, Coach Scott Gloden having a big impact on his Lady Leaf squad so far, going 2-1 through their first 3 games, one being a 4-1 win against Calumet St. Joseph's.
And again, so far, we've been talking about, as we shift back to this women's soccer team, we won't get too far off subject. Thought that was an interesting point.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've been mentioning that this is a second-half team, this Maple Leaf team so far, that throughout the season. Again, win number 1, 3-0 against Cleary. That all came in the second half. A lot of the goals against Calumet College St. Joseph were coming in the second half. You got to wonder if that's also because of how deep they are talent-wise on the field.
I have to go ahead and agree with that. This is a team that, as we mentioned earlier, 20 juniors on this team for the Lady Leafs, and every player is valuable in their own sense. We see players like Maria Bischoff coming off the bench and with her speed and taking a few of the corners as well. She also registered a handful of shots in the first game that they had. So we're seeing very nice play as well from the defensive 4 in the back for Goshen. One including great play from Lena Charles, who has started all of her games here at Goshen College, that number being 22 today.
And we've been talking about this defense, and not to demean what Natalie Thorne does at all, because she's a fantastic goalkeeper back there. But that defense certainly does make it a lot easier on her. We talked about that Cleary contest. She could have had a picnic back there if she wanted to.
Just tough to get past Weldy as well as Featherstone, Wangert, whoever they put out there. It's basically those 4 as well as rotating a few players in as well. Of course, Kate Fenderly is also difficult to get by in the midfield. So this is a team for Goshen that is really strong in the back, I guess is the best way to put it. A team that really likes to make things happen on offense as well, but can back it up on defense, and then they have the speed to get back on a counterattack from the other team.
Right. And Maple Leaf fans, make sure you tune back in tomorrow night as well, as we got more soccer action coming your way. It's going to be Andrew Snyder and Tony Miller traveling to St. Xavier to follow the men's soccer team. And that should be an interesting contest. Again, the men's soccer team had a couple close contests at the Goshen College Classic couldn't come away with the victory, but they played two very tough teams.
Yeah, one being Baker University, who went 2-0 in their time. They're receiving votes in the NAIA, and of course the second night, which was last Saturday night, when they played Georgia Gwinnett, 13th ranked team in the nation,
and only lost 1-0. So that's a good measuring stick there for the Leafs.
They dominated play in the second half as well. They had about 4 shots from Nussbaum and 6 shots. They outshot Georgia Gwinnett as well. So they've had themselves a tough schedule, but the Lady Leafs having themselves so far a relatively favorable schedule in so far through the first 3 games. And not only that, but they're going to be home 11 times this season, only traveling on the road 6 times. So, and of course, coming up this weekend, starting on Friday, will be the Goshen College Classic. This being for the Lady Leafs, coming on September 11th. That's Friday night against Lawrence Tech, starting at 7 o'clock, and then Rochester on Saturday at 2 p.m.
So a lot of great action coming your way, and not only this weekend, but we got the second half coming up here in just a few minutes. Me and Brad Stoltzfus.
Most likely.
Yeah, we'll see if the weather comes. Brad predicted 8 o'clock on the dot, so we'll see if this happens. Where are we at? 7:58. You got 2 minutes, Brad, for the weather to start rolling in.
Well, I'm not going to lose my job if I get it wrong, as I mentioned.
Myself and Brad Stoltzfus will be back in a few minutes. We're stepping aside. You're listening to Goshen College Women's Soccer on 91.1 The Globe.
Who I play high school softball for? I play for my mom and dad who've never missed a game.
Whether they're playing for their teammates, their classmates, or their community, high school student athletes in Indiana learn important lessons they'll use for the rest of their lives, like respect for the rules and the value of hard work and sacrifice. This message presented by the Indiana High School Athletic Association and the Indiana Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Why would you listen to another morning show where all you hear is this? When you could be starting your morning off like this. Start your day off with a healthy dose of music with the Breakfast Blend here on 91.1 The Globe. We'll take you back to the good old days with our college radio cut, remind you that records are still cool with our Deep Groove vinyl feature, and vibe out to our Toast and Jam session. That's every weekday morning from 6 to 9 here on 91.1 The Globe.
This is a guided meditation on parenting. Take a deep breath in and let go of the time you and your son played basketball and you attempted to slam dunk. Or when you hit that piñata into your neighbor's yard. Let it go.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you. For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Are you ready for something new and like up-tempo music? I'm Larry Roberts.
And I'm Jim Fisher. We're the Bluegrass guys here at the Globe and hosts of Down Home.
With over 50 years of folk and bluegrass experience, we still have a long, long way to go.
We're going to bring you the best in bluegrass, both contemporary and classic, from artists like Alison Krauss and Union Station.
You're the lucky one, so I've been told. As free as the wind blowing down the road. Loved by many, hated by none. I'd say you were lucky.
Balsam Range.
Everyone was bound to happen one day. Another breakthrough with a twinkle of an eye. Scholars
and some newgrass from the Steep Canyon Range.
And no won't be long till the morning.
And I can feel it coming. Join us every Monday evening from 7 to 9 p.m. for Down Home on your station for culturally progressive music, 91.1 The Globe.
Between midnight and the dawn.
Welcome back to 91.1 The Globe here at the Goshen College Soccer Complex as we get ready to resume the second half of action. It's a scoreless contest we've seen through 45 minutes so far between the Lady Calumet Peregrines and the Lady Goshen Maple Leafs. And as we get ready to start the second half, we got 3 officials out there, which as we didn't have at the beginning of the first, so that's a good sign. And it's going to be interesting to see because we were just talking about at halftime, this Lady Leaf team has been a very good second-half team as both teams switch ends. It'll be interesting to see if they're able to get some more opportunities here.
Absolutely, and it looks like Drinkwater and Woodward will be up front, as well as Short Miller on the right side, Vela on the left side. In the middle, looks like Lana Smucker is going to be making the start in the second half. And it looks like Wengard, Charles in the back, as well as Weldy, Featherstone, and Venderly. So it's only going to be Lana Smucker now, the one making the start at the midfield in favor of Gina Berkey.
And with that, we have the whistle underway. Drinkwater sends it back. This one getting to Smucker and worked all the way around. Charles with it now for the Lady Leaf, sends it across the far sideline. And it will be a Peregrine throw-in, as it did go across the sideline. Throw-in now for Calumet. Working with it there on the far sideline, trying to get it closer towards the middle, but Vela's not having any of it. She sends it back and taken away there by the Leafs as Woodward sends it out of bounds, and Calumet will have yet another throw-in. Throw-in, as still waiting on it. She hesitated quite a while. She couldn't find what she wanted there on the far side, and finally gets it in. It looks like Coy has it there for the Peregrines. Gets it in. Now it's on the left side of the goal box as they're really threatening there on the goal. Gregory kicks this one, and it's a slow roller right into the hands of Thorne. And Thorne is just going to pick this one up, and she's going to send this one down the field. Now towards that far sideline. Just out of the feet of Short Miller, and she's able to get to it, but she has no choice but to send it further up the sideline and out of bounds, so it will be a Lady Peregrine throw-in. Ball comes in. Skyrocketed across midfield. And it's Gregory with it, taken away again by the Leaf defense. They're going to work it around now as Charles has it, sends it down the field. Taken back by Coy and the Peregrines. Venderly gets a foot in on it, sends it up to Short Miller, to Vela, to Drinkwater. Drinkwater in front of midfield, looking to make something happen. Being chased on by Kotas. Now down the field, and it's sent back by the Lady Peregrines. Here's Woodward with it. Sending this one back to Smucker. Smucker getting it up now. Back to Woodward. She sends a cross in, or a volley, you could say, into Drinkwater on the right side of the goal box. Too far for her. Rolls past the goal line, and a goal kick is issued for the Lady Peregrines.
Still seemingly back and forth play. Staying in the midfield for the most part, but teams' possession basically going back and forth between the two.
42 and a half minutes left, and just on cue it goes out of bounds, and it will be Maple Leaf possession. Brad's, you're on cue with that, but the weather is past 8 o'clock.
You mentioned it, did you? You had to mention it.
Featherstone with it now for the Leafs. Gets it up to Vedgerly. Vedgerly in front of midfield. Volleys this one up, trying to get it up to Drinkwater. Unable to do so as Short Miller has it, sending it over towards the far sideline. And it looks like the Peregrines will take over from there as it goes out of bounds off of Short Miller, off of the pass forward. So Calumet retains possession there. The throw-in. It's headed towards midfield. Trying to be handled there, and finally the Leafs come away with it as it was Short Miller finally being worked around. Looks like Charles is going to get a foot in. She's able to do so, looking for options, and she finds one. Here on the near sideline is Wengard. Wengard, back to Charles. They're going to work it around, and it's going to be picked off by Gregory. Gregory took it from Charles, but Featherstone comes up with some good defense and knocks it back to midfield. Taken away again by Calumet, and here comes a Graber who sends it over to Coy.
Every defender on this team has their back, has each other's back. So Charles gave it away there, and there was potentially something coming forward, but Courtney Featherstone not having any of it as she was stepping in there to clear it away.
Ball at midfield, being tinkered around with. Finally, Leafs have it. Wengard gets it across midfield. A header, a beautiful one at that. Gets it up to Drinkwater. The head was from Short Miller. Drinkwater trying to fit this one through to Woodward, unable to do so. Good defense there by the Peregrines as Venderly has it in front of midfield. She's going to try working it here towards the near sideline, now up towards the middle, intended for Woodward, and it's taken away. Here comes Wengard, sending it up in front of the goal box, And it's Drinkwater getting it to Vela. Vela just in front of the goal box. Gets this one into Short Miller. Now to Woodward on that right side, and it's going to be a foot race as it looks like Leggett. I believe that's Leggett battling for it. It goes out of bounds past the goal line regardless, and it will be a goal kick there for the Calumet Peregrines.
Yeah, probably the best chance so far this second half, but nothing really coming of it as Goshen kind of bobbling the ball around. And Woodward might have had a good chance had she taken the shot right away, but she wasn't expecting it to come to her.
And here come the Leafs once more. Woodward sending it backwards. It's taken away. And no worries there as Charles takes it back once again. Wingard with it. Trying to set something up. Doesn't have much. Gets it to Charles. Charles working it around the field. Trying to get it over to Featherstone. She'll send it to the far sideline. Now towards the middle. Vendrelli sends it up the field. It's a foot race between Woodward and looks like Mendoza over there. Ball now sent in, and that one's going to be easy for Sharp as she picks that one up, and it will be a roll over here towards the near sideline where it's Mendoza working it back towards the middle. Now to Coy. Now towards the middle, Kodas. Worked over towards that far side, it's Jane. And here come the Peregrines up past midfield. And taken away, everybody just kind of stopped play there momentarily as Smucker got the ball away. But here come the Peregrines on the attack just in front of the goal box. Excellent play there by the Maple Leaf defense, booting it away. Coy can't get a foot in on it, and it goes out of bounds.
Charles looks like she was the last one to beat there at the back four of Goshen, but she stepped up, cleared it away from Gregory, and so a good play there from Lena Charles, second-year student.
Jane has it. Gets it to Coy. Sent up the middle now for the Peregrines. It's Gregory who has it taken away by this Maple Leaf defense. And it looks like Vendrelli had it, getting it up to Drinkwater. Taken away once more by Purdue Calumet. Here's Coy. Coy sending it here on the near sideline to Ross. And can't be held on as it goes out of bounds. It's going to be Maple Leaf possession. Wingard sends it backwards to Charles. With 37 minutes and 45 seconds left here in the first half, it's Drinkwater here on the near sideline in front of midfield, trying to get this one over to Smucker. Smucker let it go by her. I think she thought there was somebody else behind her as well.
Short Miller was looking to receive that ball, but she kind of thought Smucker was going to take it, so she started running up a little bit more toward midfield yet, but so just a little bit of miscommunication there from the Lady Leafs.
And it'll be Graber with it for the Lady Peregrines at midfield, sending this one over here towards the near sideline. It's Ross. Ross racing after this one with Wingard. Wingard sends it out of bounds, and Ross will have a throw-in. And actually, it's going to end up being Mendoza tossing this one in. And she will do so to Ross here on the near sideline, being battled by Wingard. Sending it backwards, it's to Mendoza. Now to Coy. Coy here in the middle. Looking to work. Now towards the right side, sends a shot in. It looks like it was tipped on by one of the Maple Leaf defenders and bounces into the hands of Thorne. And still not much difficulty there for Thorne.
The rain at a steady pace now. Just a little bit as we go back to the weather there. But now Woodward on the far side.
And it is also past 8 o'clock, so we can keep that in mind as well. I'm not letting that go.
Understand.
I understand. The Maple Leaf throw in here on the far sideline. As everybody looks to get set, it's 36 minutes remaining here in this action. We're still scoreless as nobody has been able to put it into the back of the net thus far. Ball gets towards the middle. It's Vendrelli. Vendrelli with it between the goal box and midfield, sending it backwards furthermore to Charles. Charles will put a leg in on it, trying to get it to Short Miller, and it's taken away by the Lady Peregrines. Here comes Ross. Ross with it now crossing midfield. Taken away by the Leafs again. Now Wingard with it, crossing midfield here on the near sideline, getting up to Vela, working towards the corner flag. That might cross, and it does. It goes out of bounds, just crossing that sideline as Vela couldn't get to it in time. It'll be a throw-in.
Maybe on a day with nice weather, that ball wouldn't have skipped that as much, and Vela might have been able to chase it down, get something right before it goes out of the corner line, but not the case.
Featherstone with it. She'll send it forward. Trying to get it to Woodward, and she does. Working it backwards. Smucker to Shortmiller. They don't like what they see. They retreat a little bit, but to no avail as the Peregrines take it away and send it back to the Leafs at midfield as it's Vendrelli now being worked around. Now Drinkwater in front of the goal box. Taken away by Coy and the Lady Peregrines. They'll send it up the field, trying to get it to Gregory, and Gregory with a foot race against Featherstone there towards that far corner. Featherstone, with some chippy defense, is able to come away with it momentarily and sent away by the rest of this Maple Leaf defensive backline. We've talked about how strong they are.
Yeah, and they're showing it here tonight for sure.
Here's Drinkwater working on the right side of the goal box, creeping in here on Sharp. She's going to take a shot, and it's good! It hits the back left post in the net, and Drinkwater scores with 34 minutes and 18 seconds left here in action.
And it was the first shot of the second half, and it was also on goal and in goal. So 1-0 now, and it was Drinkwater, as you mentioned, putting that one home for the Lady Leafs.
A tremendous play there as she hardly had any angle to work with. Sharp was cutting her off that side.
And basically the whole defense seemed like they were just trying to get, because she was the only one there. She didn't have a convoy coming down on, the far side or what have you. She was the only one. The only thing she could do is get by her defenders and score, and that's what she did.
Fair enough. That's pretty logical there. And we talked about how happy Coach Gloden must be to have her back in the lineup with that lethal foot of hers. You can see it here in this contest as the Leafs want to move to a 3-1 record. Again, losing this past weekend to Madonna as they traveled there, losing 3-0, wanting to get back on the right street. Here's the Leafs. Charles with it in front of her own goal box as they try to work this one up the field once more. Shortmiller with it, sending it back here on the far sideline, and this one's going to be, I believe, an offside is what that call is.
I think they called out of bounds just right before on the far side, and therefore the ref put up his flag. But yeah, he puts up the flag. Tough to tell sometimes because that ball was being moved forward. Looked like offside, but out of play is what he ruled.
And you're correct, as it was a throw-in over there. But here come the Leafs once again as they're not finished. Drinkwater with it, sends it cross in, trying to get it to Bear, and just going to be too far past Bear, unable to grab that one in. And it's Graber with it now for the Peregrines.
Good defense there by Tiffany Costas. Had good position there on Bear, and Bear otherwise would have been able to possibly at least get ahead on it. But good defense there by Costas in the right position as her back was low and really preventing Bear from a good chance there.
And the Peregrines really can't afford to give up too much more at this point, as it's a 1-0 game. Again, that score from Drinkwater has been the only one we've seen so far. And last year, if you remember, 1-0, Drinkwater had a lone goal in that contest.
And yes, that is the case. It was August 28th of last year. Shortly, as you mentioned before, shortly before going down with that injury that really kept her out for, the entire season just about.
Ball worked at midfield as Coy, taken away by Vela. We've called her name quite a bit. She's been all over the place. Now it's Cotis. Now being worked towards that far sideline, Cotis gives it up. Jane has it, sending it up the field and out of play. It will be a throw-in for the Leafs. Here with just inside 32 minutes left in action.
And Lana Smucker coming out of the game now, and Gina Berkey the one checking in.
And that'll be some fresh legs for the Leafs as she's got some wheels on her, and especially with them being rested at this point, this could create some more opportunities.
And she scored in her first game. She's got 4 career goals and already has one in her senior season. and she's got 5 shots also so far throughout the season.
This ball being worked around now back towards midfield, and it's going to be Ross picking it up for the Peregrines, trying to work it up towards the middle, but the defense says no for the Maple Leafs as it's Berkey with the foot in on it. Vengerly. Ball sent up field by the Leafs. Drinkwater with it. Taken away once more as they're trying to work it over here to Berkey, and they do. In front of midfield, now between midfield and goal box. Mendoza takes it away for Calumet. Here's Coy. Coy can't get away from these defenders as 3 Maple Leafs close in on her and sandwich that ball away. Bear now working with it here towards the near side corner. Coy defending her. See if Bear can get anything going. Sends a cross in, intended for Short Miller, but it's going to go past her and past Jane, the last defender there for the Peregrines. But a nice hustle there by the Maple Leafs as they're able to get it back there in that far side corner. Regardless, it's booted backwards towards midfield, and that's where the Leafs are going to take over possession. A pass in now into the goal back to the left side. It's going to be Bear with it. She makes a move, trying to work her way back towards the middle. A shot in now from Berkey. Loses it. Back to Drinkwater. Just past her foot. She couldn't quite get a hold of it, and it rolls just out of bounds. That's going to be a goal kick.
It looked like Drinkwater was thinking that Berkey was going to be the one taking the shot there, and she seemed a little bit more for ready for a rebound, but Berkey tried getting into Drinkwater, and unfortunately just out of her reach.
29 minutes and 40 seconds left to play in this contest. Again, score 1-0 Drinkwater, the lone goal so far. Here's Ross getting up to Gregory, taken away by the Leafs. Berkey with it now, trying to send it up as blocked by Coy. Worked back to midfield, and Coy ends up with it. Back to Berkey. At midfield, the Maple Leafs looking to extend this lead, but not going to happen here as Graber takes it away. She's going to move it forward for Calumet, working in between the goal box and midfield now, as she's going to send this one back over, and a shot on now. It's going to be wide right of the goal. That was a shot from Ross. Went just right. Thorne says, I'm not even going to touch it. Lets it go out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick.
Janice Haywood coming on now for Melanie Drinkwater. And Rachel Short-Miller checking off in favor of Maria Bischoff.
And Mr. Stoltzfus, I believe the weather's coming back out. See a little bit of raindrops.
You can take the weather updates from now on, Dolph. Basically, if you're just tuning into this long joke, I basically said that this rain would get heavy around 8 o'clock. Thinking I was a meteorologist there for a minute, but
it wasn't the case.
It was just not the case.
I almost want to have weather updates every 7 minutes from now on in every game we do.
But as I was mentioning, being a meteorologist, you got to have some of the best job security. Because if you get it wrong, you can say, well, there's a chance of rain. And if it rains, you say that, yeah, I said it was going to be rain. And if not, you still have your job tomorrow. So
it's not a bad gig. Maybe I'm not going to pursue that
We'll
much
go back
further.
to the action.
As Bear has it, gives it back now to Wengard. Back to Bear, and this one's going to go out of bounds as, again, he didn't miss much. It was Thorne with the goal kick, and Bear got it at midfield. There wasn't much before that as we're at 27.5 minutes left here in action.
Yeah, Kami Graber comes off in favor of Heather Olson now for Purdue Calumet.
So here comes Berkey. The players froze for a moment, thought that play was out of bounds. Apparently it was not, because the play continues. Maple Leafs with it now.
18 minutes gone by in the second half. Goshen still leads 1-0. And that goal came from Melanie Drinkwater, who, as a matter of fact, scored the lone goal against Purdue Calumet last season in a 1-0 victory.
A little bit of deja vu here tonight. It's going to be Mendoza setting it back towards the middle. That's Olson getting it in. Weldy gets a foot in on it, but it's not going to be much as Thorne runs out of the box and picks this one up, and she's going to roll this one forward. Charles sends this one back over to Weldy on the far sideline. And continuing to work around, it's Featherstone now. She'll send one up. Vela works it towards that far sideline, and that one's going to be out of play. It'll be another Lady Peregrine throw-in. And 26 minutes left here in this contest. Again, 1-0 the score. The throw-in is going to be battled and booted down into Peregrine territory.
And a 2-on-3 it looks to be brewing for Goshen.
But it's denied by the Peregrines momentarily as here comes the Maple Leafs and Vela. Vela gets it into Bear. Bear in the goal box, making a move, gets it back to Berkey on top of the goal box, takes a shot, and it's good off the left post once again in the back of the net. Berkey fires it in, and all of a sudden it's 2-0 to Maple Leafs, and we were talking, Brad, this is a second-half team.
Absolutely, 2 goals already coming, and this is sort of what we saw against Cleary, as we mentioned, the first game that this women's team took on Cleary University. They were down, or they were actually tied at half 0-0, just like in this game, and then 3 goals come in the second half, already 2 here.
And the deja vu moment ends with 25 minutes and 44 seconds left as Berkey gets into the scoring column there, and all of a sudden it's 2-0 as Vela has it now at midfield.
And, of course, that was Berkey's second goal already in this short season so far. That's her 5th career goal.
Bear working with it. She's going to take a tumble. And it'll be the Peregrines taking over.
It's almost as if Glodden's philosophy or game plan is to get more chances for Berkey, as she's now playing just a little bit in more of a attacking position and gets more chances being at that center midfield position.
And we discussed that she had some minutes off here in the second half, came in, had some fresh legs, and we said, that could open up some more opportunities.
I think that's a good point you raised, and that might be one of the reasons why she came off and didn't start this second half, was potentially to get in, have fresher legs come in with such a high-quality player as herself.
Ball now over to Wengard as she's going to get it back from Calumet, sending this one backwards as that's going to be Charles. And still working on their own side of midfield are the Leafs, not anymore as they get it up to Vendrali. Coy takes it away for Calumet. I believe that's Cotis with it for the Peregrines.
And she slipped a little bit there. Now we're seeing this pitch becoming a little more slick, the ball skipping a lot more. We've saw now only the first player to fall down due to this grass, due to the wetness now of the field. But maybe we see more to come.
Ball goes out of bounds, and subs will come on in the meantime. Green and Crawford, they're going to be checking in for the Lady Leafs. With 23 minutes and 40 seconds left here in this game. Again, the score 2-0. The Leafs out in front. Vela's going to be checking off, as will Weldy. A throw in from the Leafs. They get it in. Sent over now towards the middle. Intended for Wengard. Wengard racing after this one here on the left side of the goal box. Looking for an opportunity, working it back towards the middle. Great defense there by the Peregrines as they knock it away momentarily. Coming down with this one, it's Ross. Ross is knocking it away, and she's going to boot this one back down into Maple Leaf territory. And that's where Featherstone and Thorne will say, you take it, and Thorne does as she sends it back down to midfield. And here come the Peregrines once again. Coy working her way. A slide tackle from Charles nullifies that as the ball is sent wide left of the goalpost, and Thorne doesn't touch that one neither, and she'll have a goal kick coming up.
So far, we've only seen Purdue Calumet with 3 shots in this first half, none of them, however, coming on net. So Goshen's shot quality really has been much more impressive than the Paradise.
22 and a half minutes left here in this contest. Again, the score being 2-0 in favor of Goshen. Wengard with it. You're on the near sideline. Working it back around. Crossing midfield. It's Berkey. Berkey working it up. Taken away by Calumet. Now back towards the middle of the field. Crawford gets a foot in on it. Coy has it now for Calumet. Back over to Mendoza here on the near sideline as they advance past midfield with a through ball up to Ross. Ross working it here as she sends a cross in, and that's going to go right by, I believe it's Cotis and the rest of the Maple Leaf defenders. Regardless, it's going to stay Calumet possession after a little bit too much contact there on that play is going to give the Peregrines possession.
And it does indeed, don't look like Coy will be the one standing over the ball. And she looks to take this free kick from the far side.
And I lied, it was Leggett, not Cotis, who was in there on that play. Thorne comes out of the box there on that kick and just bats that one back down the field, working its way back to midfield now as Jane has it. It'll be worked towards the middle. Mendoza with it in front of midfield. She'll try and send this one up to Ross. Ross trying to keep it in play. She's able to do so here towards that near side corner as they move left to right. This one being sent in towards the middle and knocked out of play by Wingard and past the goal line, so it will set up a corner.
That'll be Purdue Calumet's first corner of the game, as they didn't have any in the first half. And we're seeing their first one coming here with just 20 minutes left in the second half.
Famaglietti and Huppenthal are going to be checking into this one.
And this is an interesting situation now as Purdue Calumet setting up for what was going to be a corner kick, but then Natalie Thorne thought that she was going to be taking a goal kick, so there were two balls in play, one on the corner, one on goal box.
Looks like everybody's on the same page now with 20 minutes left here in this contest. As the corner is on from Ross, sent in towards the middle. Thorne knocks this one out, and that will be out of bounds as well as we set things up and get ready for another corner. It'll be Ross again. She steps up, boots it right back down towards the middle of the goal box. Now sent in a nice kick and a nice block there by Wingard as she stepped right in front of it and completely prevented that attack. Ross now gets a little too pushy there, and Lady Leaf goes tumbling down. It's Berkey, and that's going to give the Lady Leafs possession back.
Good defense by Courtney Wingard as that ball was in the box, and someone, I forget who it was, it's tough to see with all those bodies in there, but taking the shot there from Purdue Calumet, and Wingard blocked the ball with her body, and a good play there from her.
Ross with it again. Work towards the middle of the field. It's Olsen. Coy with it. She'll work her way towards that far sideline. Get this one up to Jane. Sending a cross in. Thorne comes rushing out of the net. She'll pick it up. That one was coming in for Huppenthal. Not able to grab that as Thorne picks it up with 18 and a half minutes left in the second half. The score being 2-0. Goshen in front as Woodward is waiting on.
Since that goal from Drinkwater, I think we've been seeing much better defense from this Purdue Calumet lady squad as we're still only... Goshen is with one shot in this second half, that, of course, being the goal from Melanie Drinkwater, but good defense. The possession seems to be in favor so far of Purdue Calumet, at least in this last couple minutes.
And that's going to be a boot back downfield towards midfield. It'll be Charles who gets a head in there on that one. Coy with it again in front of midfield. Sends a pass deep down, but there's nobody waiting for that one. Ross, the closest target. Wingard is going to take it away. And she'll send it up the field and out of bounds. 17 and a half minutes left to play now. 2-0 the score as Woodward checks into this one. Bear checks out. Not only that, but Jane is going to check back in as Leggett checks out. A throw in from Mendoza waiting. It comes into Ross, back to Mendoza. Mendoza here on the near sideline, looking to make something happen. trying to make a pass there to Ross, but it's taken away by the Maple Leaf defense, and they're just going to clear this one out by the corner flag. Regardless, it'll be a throw-in as it was shy.
This could be another good chance here from Purdue Calumet as they're, again, in their attacking third looking to make something happen.
Olsen with the throw-in. It's headed away by the Leafs. And here they come. It's Berkey with it. Trying to get past one of the defenders. It was Codis who stepped in front. Unable to do so as the Peregrines get it back. Ross now back to Olsen. Olsen booting this one down into the goal box. Green's going to knock this one away. Bischoff with it. Sending it towards that far sideline. Booted off of Crawford as it was Famiglietti who was trying to send that one forward. Nonetheless, it's going to end up in a throw-in as the ball rolled out of bounds. Peregrine still with it. Maple Leafs take it over now. Ball works towards the middle. Charles gets a foot in on it, sends it back towards the middle near midfield. Worked around now as they try and set something up, and this ball from Featherstone goes right by Green and out of play. Another throw-in for Calumet.
Doesn't seem like the Lady Leafs so far have been very in sync with each other in the first half. We see this a little bit change already here early in the second half, but a little bit of misplays and whatnot for both teams.
And Green gets her foot in there on that one and sends it out of bounds as we get ready for yet another Calumet corner at this point as it's just tallying them up. We're up to 3 corners this half.
Now, is this the chance that Purdue Calumet gets a good cross into the box and puts one away to get it within 1?
We'll find out as the cross comes in. Thorne says, give me that. As that's a part of the benefits of being a dual sport athlete with basketball. She plays the post, knows how to rebound, and she can translate that skill there, and that's what you saw with 14 minutes and 45 seconds left in the half.
Well, she's got great hands, and she can cover a lot of ground, and, well, she's been very strong for the Goshen Lady Leafs so far in this game and really just in the time that she's been here at the college. Maria Bischoff checking off in favor of Janice Vela now for the Maple Leafs.
Back to the action. It's going to be the Maple Leafs with it, sending this one up the field. Now it's Vela. Past midfield, working her way towards the goal box. Getting this one through. It's Haywood with it. Now towards the right side. It's going to be taken away by the Peregrines. Now working there on that far sideline. Sending it back as they don't have quite what they're looking for. Regardless, it goes out of bounds, trying to get it up the field. Huppenthal was the closest target, and it'll be a throw-in for the Leafs.
Melanie Drinkwater coming in now for Janice Haywood, one of 6 transferred juniors coming onto this Lady Leaf squad so far this season.
And again, we mentioned no freshmen on this roster, but a lot of transfers, so that's a positive sign.
That's true, and we'll finally get a chance to see Glodden's first recruiting class this upcoming offseason, but still a lot of the season yet to play, of course.
Ball inbounded now. Vela had it momentarily. Ball now worked towards the midfield as Berkey missed on, and Graber takes it away. Excuse me, it's Ross taking it away for the Peregrines. Working it now, Crawford. She'll steal it. Working towards that far sideline, crossing midfield. A through ball is going to be to no avail, trying to get that one to Drinkwater. Goes out of bounds, and that will set up a throw-in. The throw-in from Green. She'll send it backwards, not liking the options in front of her. Ventrally in front of midfield. She's going to boot this pass in. Looks like to Vela. And it'll be sent backwards. Wingard with it now. Sending a shot into Drinkwater. Drinkwater on the right side of the goal box has an opportunity. Crosses this one in, trying to get it to Woodward. It's booted back. They're still on the right side of the goal box. Drinkwater ends up with it again. Working towards that goal line. A lot of contact. Ball goes out of play. And it looks like a corner opportunity is going to be set up. But Wingard, as soon as she made that pass, went down hard, Brad.
Yes, she did, and it looks like she might be cramping and whatnot, but it looks like trainer is waiting to see if she needs to go out yet. But yes, Wanger on the ground right now talking with the ref as she looks like she's just trying to extend her right leg. We'll see exactly what it is in just a few moments.
So the trainer's going to come out and take a look at her, and they'll remove her from play. 12 minutes and 7 seconds left here in this contest, and they're just going to get her up. She's able to walk off on her own power, and she looks to be doing decent, so you got to imagine it's just something like a cramp, nothing too serious.
And we'll see who she comes on for now. It looks like Rachel Short-Miller, the one checking in for the injured Wangard, as well as Melina Weldy coming in for Asia Green.
And not only that, but the Peregrines have a substitution of their own as Graber checks back into the contest. And it'll be Olsen taking a seat. 12 minutes and 7 seconds left to play in this contest. It's 2-0, Goshen in front. Here comes a corner kick from the Leafs. Drinkwater with it.
Their first of the second half.
Here comes the cross. It's a nice one just in front of the net. Nothing there as the Peregrines send it back, and this one's going to be moved all the way back to midfield, but an excellent opportunity.
It looks like Charles, again, was the one they were trying to get that corner to, and that was a real close corner. The goalie may have very well been able to come out, jump and catch that ball, but elected to stay on the goal line. Luckily, nothing came of it.
Here's Graber and the Peregrines, taken away now by Short-Miller and the Maple Leafs, as Graber ends up with it again at midfield. Trying to make something happen. Here's Ross on the near sideline, boots this one right off of Short-Miller, and that one goes out of play. It'll be a throw-in for Calumet. And a whistle blown as play's getting a little too chippy there for the Maple Leafs. It'll be Ross with the free kick. As we approach 11 minutes left here in this contest.
And Purdue Calumet's going to have to get something going soon if they want to tie this game up. They're going to need 2 goals, though, in 11 minutes. May be tough to come by.
Especially against this backline defense that we've been talking about. Short-Miller sends this one up across midfield, and it's going to be denied by the Lady Peregrines. This one's going to float out of bounds there on the far sideline, and it will be yet another Purdue Calumet throw-in. Play there on the far sideline, taken away by the Leafs. Here's Charles. Charles trying to boot this one away. It's going to knock off of one of the Peregrines, and it ends up at midfield. Mendoza with it. She's going to move it forward. This one gets up to Coy. Coy working her way towards that far sideline, and able to do so as it's Famiglietti over there waiting for it. Crosses it back in towards the middle. Coy with it now, makes an excellent move past Vela, sends a shot in wide left of the goal, and Thorne doesn't even think twice about it, goes and picks up one of the spare balls by the net, and she'll have a goal kick. Another substitution for the Peregrines comes in, as it's going to be Gregory checking into this contest, as Huppenthal will check out. 9.5 minutes remaining here in this contest. Thorne sends it down the field again to score 2-0. Goshen in front off of Drinkwater and Berkey goals. This ball going out of bounds off of Short-Miller, and it'll be Purdue Calumet's ball. A throw-in now to Ross. Back to Mendoza here on the near sideline. Crosses this one in, and it's going to be booted away there by the Leafs. Sending it back now here on the near sideline. Mendoza's not going to touch it, and it's going to end up being a throw-in for Purdue Calumet. Knocked away by Short-Miller there on the throw-in, as Graber has it now. Gets it furthermore to Coy here towards the near sideline. Approaching that goal box, they elect to move it backwards, as it'll be Graber working her way now towards the front of the goal box. loses control momentarily. Crawford chasing after that one for the Leafs. Woodward in the action as well, but Mendoza comes away with it for the Peregrines. And the Peregrines are not going away offensively, Brad.
That's true. We've seen them control a lot of this play so far in the second half. Coming after those 2 goals, they're trying to get themselves some chances.
8 minutes remaining, and that shot is going to bounce right off of Charles's legs and out of play. That was Ross who sent it out of play there off of Charles, and it will end up being a corner kick for the Lady Peregrines.
Purdue-Calumet already has doubled the amount of shots they took in the first half.
Ross awaits the corner. 7 minutes and 45 seconds left here in the second half. She boots this one in. Thorne with a diving play. She's able to stretch her arm out and tip it. And Drinkwater will pick it up just by midfield. Too many defenders in front of her. She's going to retreat this one.
Yeah, and Goshen looking to set something up now as the ball being moved forward back with Drinkwater.
And then Leafs looking to make something happen here, but they're being patient with it. Charles with it in front of her own goal box. A kick here is going to go directly to Ross. Ross takes it away, sends it over to Coy in front of the goal box. Coy takes a shot here towards the right side, and that's going to be wide as well. And Thorne will have to pick up another spare ball and send this one down the field.
And their 5th shot of the second half, as she just took that one there, as Woodward comes off now in favor of Annalise Baer for the Lady Leafs. Although of the 5 shots Purdue-Calumet has taken in the second half, none have been on goal. They also have 4 corners in this half as well, which is 3 more than what they had in the first half.
So good improvement there for them, even though the scoreboard isn't showing it.
Mm-hmm.
Ball comes out of bounds now off the foot of Nachovsky. It'll be a throw-in for the Leafs. 6 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the second half of action. And it looks like Shortmiller is going to be throwing this one here on the near sideline. She's able to do so, getting this one over to Baer. Baer looking for something here on the near sideline. Gets it over to Vela. Vela in the near side corner, gets it in the middle of the box to Drinkwater. Drinkwater with a shot. She sends it in the back of the net once again. She's got 2 goals on the night. And 3-0 now the score as Drinkwater records her second of the evening. 5 minutes and 57 seconds left in action.
She makes it 3-0. What a great player from Drinkwater there. Just amazing soccer we're seeing so far from this women's team, capitalizing on some of the chances that they have already. 3 shots going into the net of their 8. So, 37.5% goal rate.
You know what, Brad? Drop the weather gig.
Oh,
you got a math gig.
No, that's Andrew Snyder. That's Andrew Snyder. I'll leave that to him.
This ball's going to roll back here to the Goshen goal line, staying just in play. The Maple Leafs will retain possession, and it'll be Crawford with it there on the far sideline. Working towards the middle. Bella with it. Still with it as she finally sends it across midfield there on the far sideline. Attempting to get this one to Drinkwater. And this one will go out of bounds off of the Peregrine defenders, as it'll be Green and Smucker checking in for the Leafs here. Berkey will be checking out for Smucker with 5 minutes remaining here in this contest. Again, the score 3-0. Goshen out in front. It looks like Weldy also will be checking off the field for the Maple Leafs.
And Brett, she had herself a great game in the back and really kept some of these Calumet defenders just having herself a great game, did Weldy.
It'll be a goal kick by Sharp as we approach 4.5 minutes remaining. And Brad, we talked about the season opener with Cleary University As Bear steals this one away. She's working here on the left side of the goal box, looking across this one in. She's able to do so. Drinkwater with the hat trick. She records her third one of the night, and just a minute and a half after the last. 4 minutes and 19 seconds left here in this contest as Drinkwater puts the Leafs up 4-0, 3 of them thanks to her.
Now she's got 4 goals on the season, and I'm sure Annalise Bear was coming into this game pretty happy with her 3 goals that she had in the 3-game span, but there is a new goal scorer leader for the Lady Leafs. That is Melanie Drinkwater, notching her 3rd of the game, 4th of the season.
Peregrines will have possession as it's Mendoza with it, sending it here towards the near sideline. Working its way back towards the middle. Cotis getting it back over across midfield, and this one will go out of play as it'll be a throw-in for the Leafs. Under 4 minutes remaining. Brady, you know, we were talking about the season opener where the match finished 3-0 over Cleary University.
How about it?
0-0 at halftime.
Just like this one was, and then we see, of course, 4 goals all coming so far in this second half.
And so Bear here on the near sideline, working its way towards the left side of the goal box. Peregrine's taking it away. And the Leafs with it. Short Miller working its way back here past the near sideline and out of play. And we're trying to see, but there's a huge spider in our view of the field. And Brad, the citizen, he is trying to let the people know below him so the spider doesn't fall on top of him. It's still... We'll get back to the game. Peregrine throw in now. Mendoza firing it in, and it's taken away by the Leafs. Vela knocks this one away. Peregrine still working with it here on the near sideline again. Score 4-0. And it will be Purdue Calumet possession as the Spire still causes an issue here in front of the press box. Ball goes out of bounds. It will be a Purdue Calumet throw-in. 4-0 to score, 2.5 minutes left to play. Throw in by Cotis. And that's a hard foul as Gregory knocks one of the Leafs down, trying to check out what number that is.
Short Miller looks to be on the floor.
And you're correct. It was Short Miller. She's able to get up, and the Leafs will continue to work. 2 minutes left to play now. Charles sends this one down the field. The Peregrine defense knocks it away as this one's going to go out of bounds. And it will be a throw-in for the Leafs. Short Miller looks to throw this one in. She gets it here on the near sideline, in for Vela and Smucker. They send it backwards to Short Miller, taken away by Ross and Gregory. Here's Gregory working now. And she'll move it up into the goal box as Thorne gobbles it up, and she looks to move this one downfield. And with 1:25 left, it looks like time's winding down there on the Peregrines.
It'd be the most amazing thing if the Peregrines of Purdue Calumet could put 4 goals in to tie it up here with only about a minute left. But I don't foresee that in the future.
Coy with it. Gets it over to Mendoza. Smucker takes it away. Mendoza back with it now as a tightrope the near sideline. Gregory has it stolen away by the Leaf defense once more. Coy picks it up. She'll work it towards the middle. Drinkwater with a good defense there as Cotis ends up with it. Gets it over to Mendoza, and the ball is going to continue to be worked around. It's Olsen with it, sending it there to the far sideline for the Peregrines. And a ball comes in just front of the goal box. A great head there by Vendrali is able to prevent that one. Clock now down to 23 seconds. As again, the score 4-0 Goshen in front. They're going to move on to be 3-1 after this contest. As here comes Vela, but the score may not end 4-0 as they have an opportunity. Drinkwater with it here on the left side of the goal box. Sharp dives in, and she's going to be able to stop that one as we are now 5 seconds away from closing time. And as Sharp boots it downfield, There goes the whistle, and this one is all over 4-0. The Lady Leafs with a big victory, thanks in part to Melanie Drinkwater with the hat trick. We're going to step aside, but when we come back, we're going to bring you some post